Let's parse some URLs with and without regular expressions and JavaScript. You're watching Dev Tips and I'm David. So I created this small example where we can enter a URL and we can click this button and then we want to parse the URL and we want to separate the protocol, this part, and want to find the domain, this part, and the path, which is this part, and then the search parameters, which is this part. So I've just created a very simple HTML file with some simple CSS, and now let's do this with JavaScript. All right, so here we have just a convenience function we call set. It takes an ID and a text, and then it finds that element with the ID. And if we have a hashbang, because we're used to jQuery, we just remove it by doing a replace the hash with nothing. And then we set the value to some text. No, that's incorrect, by the way. Let's set the inner HTML to some text. We have a definition list here, and we have a definition term and description, which is protocol, and then we want to set this protocol ID to the value, for example. Then just add some event listener, and to prevent it from doing something silly when we click the button, let's just do event.prevent default. And let's just see in the console what we get when we click it. Parse the URL. Yeah, we got the value. All right. I love regular expressions. They are very neat, very handy for matching small sections of text and extracting the text. So here we just want to extract this first part. I just want this part. So let's see what we can do. We would like to create a match, and the URL should match this regular expression. So let's begin the string, and then it should be HTTP, and it can be with or without S. And then there's a colon, and there's a slash, and there's a slash. And this is what we'd like to match. Protocol. And let's print out the match. What did we get? HTTPS, we got the match. And if we type something else like HTTP, we got HTTP. If we type something else, FTP, what do we get then? Null. So we'd like to set it to something that is correct. So set the protocol, and we would like to set it to, if we have a match which is not null, then we'd like to have the first part of the array, first item. Otherwise, we'll just set nothing. Because in this way, if we do get a match first, okay, let's try this. Let's pretend that we just set it. Click here, it says it's fine. Okay, but then if we add something that doesn't have something correct, like FTP, we don't want FTP. Perhaps we want the FTP, but right now we don't want FTP. I just want the HTTP or the HTTPS. Null, nothing happens. And if we check the console, try it again, we see that it can't read property 0 of null. So nothing happens, but we got it previously, so it didn't overwrite it. Therefore, we would like to set a check. If match is okay, then we have the 0th item in the array. Otherwise, we overwrite it with nothing. So if we have the FTP or something silly, then it should be nothing. So here, HTTPS should match. And then we add something silly which shouldn't match, and then it should overwrite it. Yeah, Correct. Okay, so now we want the domain. So first let's just clean this up. Call this the protocol, and if there's a protocol, then we match the protocol. Okay, so const domain equals url.match. And now we want to start with the HTTPS, and it can be an S, it can also be not an S, and then the slash. And then we have dot, or you have to escape the dot because dot is a special character in regular expressions, so it can match anything, and we just wanted to match the dot. And then we know that we want to have, it can be either a word or a dash or 0 to 9. And we add this in the brackets, and it has to be something of that. Then it should be a dot and a top level domain, and that has to be a word that is of a specific length, and we say that it's from 2 to 4. And then it can be a slash, and a question mark means that we can have a slash, but we don't have to have a slash. And then we finish and terminate the regular expression like that. Let's just see what happens if we print this to the console. Null. Something incorrect here. I think that I did something incorrect here. I think this is the incorrect thing. I messed up. Okay, let's just disregard that you can have zeros and numbers for a while. Let's just do like this. Perhaps it works with a number there. I don't know. It works with a number. I didn't have to do that. Okay. So this means that it should be either a word or something or a dash. And it can be any number of these characters, but it has to be at least 1. So this should be fine. Yes. But what do we see when we console log here? I don't know. Does this log everything? Yeah, because what we want is to capture. We want to make this, all of the domain is what we want to capture. That's what we want to extract. And then let's run it. And there you see that we match. This is the text that we matched. And then this is what we extracted. Therefore, we know that if we get a match, what happens when we don't have a match? Let's just delete that and try it again. Then we just get null. So if we get a match, then we want to do the same thing. Set domain. If we have the match, then we know that we want to have the second item in the array, the first item in the array notation, so this one. Otherwise, we will just overwrite it with nothing. Okay, let's try this. There we go. We have it. But what if we had youtube.museum? I think that's a valid top level domain name. It only extracted the first 4. Okay, so we need to extract 6. There we go with that one. And if we add the museum, that works. And if we had the .me, that would work. And the .se would work as well. And the com works. But what happens if we are in the UK? We have .co.uk. Oh, we only got the co. So then we will have to have another check. And this is... And also we have the ww. What happens if we don't have the ww? Didn't work. Okay, so we would have to set a group around this and say that we can have it or we can't have it. Both should work. It works with the WW and it works without the W. Okay, so we sort of fixed this part. But with the co.uk, that doesn't work. And this is when I feel that the regular expression makes URL parsing a pain in the pain. Let's just stop this and try this with my one of my favorite things, because often you want to parse URLs. And you can do the parsing by using window.location. So we see here that this is within an iframe and I get things. But when I have this window.location, so it uses the location within this iframe that the CodePen thing is running, I can get things like the protocol. HTTPS, which is this HTTPS. But that only works in the browser here. But what if we use that with this URL? That would be awesome. That's what we're gonna do. So we'll just take this and clone into a new window. Here I've cloned it into URL parsing without regular expressions. So how would we do this? We would like to set the protocol and set the domain, but we want to do that without these things. What is neat with JavaScript is you can sort of take advantage of the fact that you can create elements by yourself. So let's make a const a. We create an a tag, which is a document.createElement a. And we set the href of that. So let's just console log this a. Like that. We have set an A. So we need to add something to it. We have to add the href. So let's see, add attribute href URL. Oh, we have to make this a let so we can modify it, I guess. No? Silly me. We have to set the attribute like that. Boom. So now we set the attribute, the href, here. And now we can take advantage of this. That we can do set protocol to just use the a.protocol and set it. Here we got it. And then we can set the domain. And here we should use a.hostname. Oops, we got the hostname. There's also the difference between hostname and host is I think that host takes everything. So this is the same, but if we were to add like a port, I think host will take that as well, whereas hostname doesn't take the port. There we go. And then we can do the same thing, set the path, a.path name, and we can set the search, a.search, and run it. So there we go. We've extracted all the parts by just using this thing. That is like a way that you often use to create new elements and adding them to the page. So we've created this element, we've set an attribute to it, but we never added it to the DOM. We just kept it there, here within our function attached to the click event handler. the quick event listener, and then just use those convenience functions. In newer versions, there is also a pretty neat thing you can do. You can, let's just remove this and use const a new URL, and then just add the URL. Works with the same magic, but it has extra magic. So now we can use this and set a param. So we say that we want to extract the v parameter here. So let's just add some HTML here. Param v param. Then we can add search params. This will not do much. It will add the search params, but we wanted the param v here. So you see here in the search, it added all of the search. So if we were to add greeting equal hello. Okay. So we add a greeting hello. This takes all the search params. But if we were to use get v, we get the value from only the v parameter. So if we added and my param some value, so even though we have, so even though we have the entire search here, we can extract just the param. I don't think these search params are that supported. Let's check that out. Search params, 85% of browsers. How many mobile? 88. Okay, there are more mobile browsers. But the create element, how does that do? All browsers. Okay, yeah, because it's basic JavaScript. Therefore, I would recommend to say that only new browsers. So that was a small dev tip for you, how to use regular expressions. No. You can use a document.createElement instead if you want to parse a URL. Or you can use the new one, new URL, which is also handy but not supported by everything like createElement is. Please write your comments and check out the code pens and the links. And I'll see you in the next video.